Okie dokie. Hey, Kenny here. I wanted to do this for a while. I just want to do a quick video on how to start riding a motorcycle and get it going in, I don't know, 5 minutes. That's my guess. It's going to be a short clip, but I probably might ramble. So, look, it's winter out there. Shit's going to get a little unhinged. So I figured I'd do a little quick video. I've always wanted to do this, and this is like the first thing you ought to do when you first get a motorcycle and you want to get it rolling. What do you have to do, right? So bear with me here. I know it's winter and I really want to ride my bike, but this is the only thing I can think of doing, and I thought it'd be fun to try one of these. Like, how do you do this? How do you start riding a motorcycle? First, gotta know the parts here. This is your rear brake. Powers the rear hydraulic disc brakes. You've got your front, well, the clutch. You got your shifter. It's one down. You swing through neutral to second, third, fourth, fifth. This bike only has 5 gears. One cool thing I've never thought, was just a random observation, was that, and I sound like this because I chipmunk voice. I don't know how these guys do it. They have such good voices when they vlog, and I'm like, my cheeks are stuffed. One thing I did notice was when I had my center stand on and I go and shift into first, let go of my clutch, it grabs. And I looked it up, and apparently it's normal. It's normal for the wheel to spin when you're in first gear and you have the clutch pulled in. Who knew? And I think that just has to do with the clutch being very precise. But anyways, that's not what this is about. This is about how to get you guys rolling and started on a motorcycle. Look, I'm just looking for a chance to ride my motorcycle, okay? So one thing I want to mention too is that my Bullet 350 has had the engine warning light, and it's kind of finicky and sensitive. I never ran into an issue with it, but the engine light does seemingly like to come on, and it senses something is off, and then it cancels itself out eventually. So who knows what that's about. But look, we're here to see how to get started on a motorcycle. First, controls, right? We went through the gears, we went through the clutch, we went through the rear brake here. This is your front brake. And I'm going to get on the bike. We've got your kill switch. This is the kill switch. This is on. This is just start. We've got my, and this is specific, I guess, to the Bullet 350 and the Classic 350. You've got a hazard switch here. Hazard switch and like no, that's not a flash. I don't even know what this is. We're going to find out. Here we have your hazard switch, and this is hazard switch on and off. Sorry, I totally blanked there. But this is not going to be a perfect video, nor is it going to be instructional. This is for shits and giggles. Going to put my kickstand up. You've got your highlight, high beam, regular, and like a pass is kind of like a flash. And I can show you guys this, actually, if we have enough lighting here to do that. We've got signals, left to flash on, right to flash, cancel. We've got a horn here at the very bottom. Push that to honk. And I should actually test this, but I'm going to go ahead and start this and let you guys know how to get a bike rolling. So, I don't think this is by far intuitive. However, the mechanics of the motorcycle simply is that you have a wheel spinning, and you have essentially a clutch that is a plate that grabs that power and transfers that power to your wheels. And it goes through the separate gears. You select the gear, and it powers that. So what the clutch facilitates is that grab of that power. So think of this as something that's constantly spinning, and you press, and when you hold this in, you are essentially letting go of that clutch, and then when you let go, the clutch grabs again and starts spinning to grab power from the motorcycle. Now, a few of the things you could do to start. One of the things I highly recommend if you're just like new to all this is to, and this is a pattern, this is something you might want to repeat over and over, is just to get the bike rolling, get it stopped. Roll for 5 meters, stop. Roll for 5 meters, stop. I'm going to go ahead and start the bike. I'm right now in neutral. Gonna go ahead and start this guy. And since I'm in neutral, I've got a neutral light on, I can let go of my clutch. Nothing's grabbing the power, right? You do a little rev, but what you can do starting off is shifting your first gear. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the clutch, drop my bike to first, and what you can do is slowly let off the clutch. You can have your feet down by your on the ground there, and slowly grab by the clutch. And you should be able to let go of the bike, of the clutch completely without and getting that clutch. You should be able to, sorry, I'm gonna say that again. I'm gonna do this again. What you're gonna do is slowly let go of the clutch, and you should be able to get it completely released as long as you do it smoothly to get the bike going in first gear. You should not even have to touch the gas. So look, I'm not gonna grab the gas. I'm just gonna slowly let my clutch go, let it gain momentum, and you might struggle with balance, but that's okay. Keep your feet to guide you. There we go. So, I probably need a little bit more distance than usual to get this bike rolling completely just without gas. And you can play around with this, just slowly easing out the clutch. There's a stall. So I think I gave it a little too much of the, I rolled the clutch on a little too fast. Go ahead and start. But look, this is all good. Stalling is something you ought to get a feel for. Stalling it happens. So I'm gonna slowly let go of the clutch. Let that grab. And I'm out. This is great workout too, by the way. I'm going a little stir crazy here, right? But hey, I'm getting my bike time in. So again, clutch. Gonna slowly let it out. And we're rolling. Okay. Now, this isn't something I typically do. Couple of things. When you're backing up, you can grab the clutch, and you can also shift into neutral to back up. So, what might warrant a neutral backup? A neutral backup, if you're feeling particularly unsafe, like the terrain is not even, you know you may release the clutch at some point, go ahead and shift into neutral and back up. However, if you are fairly comfortable and you're going for a short distance, you can hold in the gear in first and back up. So levels of comfort depends on how much you feel you're comfortable backing it up. Now, when you get to the point where you can add a little gas, you simply shift back into neutral. I'm going to slowly ease the clutch, slowly add the gas, and that gets you rolling. Okay. I don't know if I have enough space to actually completely get into first. If I do completely get into first, it'll be very short. But let's try it. Yeah, not quite. I am not completely letting go of my clutch, but this is really good practice to have when you first get your motorcycle and just doing this. You're going to develop that muscle in your legs to confidently back up your motorcycle. What I'm doing now is I'm going to add a little bit of gas, let go of my clutch. And this is something that you can vary. Just for example, if you want to go for a quicker release, add more gas. If you want to go for a slower release, add your throttle slowly. So this is really a feel, but motorcycles are built this way because you need to do all of this with intent, or the motorcycle is not going to cooperate with you. And it's a bit of a fail-safe mechanism too. You gotta modulate the clutch, modulate your gas, and get things moving. And it's designed that way to be reliable. It's designed that way to be safe. So here we go. Neutral. Give it a little gas. Now I can back up in neutral, or I can back up in gear. Really depends on what you want to do. If you obviously are going to do like a 3-point turn, you want to back up having your hands on your clutch. But here is me backing up with the clutch held in. Again. It's rolling. Now, if you want to apply front brake, rear brake, it's completely up to you at this point. If you just are trying to get the ball rolling, but I would urge you to not grab the clutch quickly. So you want to get this rolling and then ease your clutch, okay? Ease your brake, sorry. Do this a few more times. Question, if you are curious whether I can get rolling in second gear, let's do it. We're in neutral. We're going to go one more. We're now in second gear. So, takes a little bit more gas. But, there you go. There's the stall. Should have given more gas. See what this winter is doing to me? Get a little rusty. If you are looking to start your bike, you can have your motorcycle in gear and start your bike. So long as you have your clutch grabbed, you can. And let's try in the second gear again. Yeah, not able to completely release my gear. You saw me shift down to 1 there, but I'm really trying to get it neutral. So, yeah. Backing it up. Let's go back to first gear. Now I've got the clutch held. I'm going to add a little bit more gas. And I mean, if you are really new to this, just do this for like 15 minutes, take a break, another 15 minutes, take a break. You want to be comfortable to a point where you can back up comfortably. Try looking back as well. So, this is my version of how to get started on a motorcycle. As you can see, my engine light is still on, and this is something particular with the Bullet. It's just really sensitive, and I don't really know why. It goes away usually after a while, but I am at 10,000 kilometers, and I think I might need a throttle body cleaning, although I haven't heard anything otherwise that suggests I really need a throttle body cleaning. So, I gotta look into that. So, again, neutral, first gear. Give it a little gas. There we go. Back up in neutral this time. Let go of my clutch. And I'm using the front brake to stop. Mostly because I barely get my feet on the rear pegs. I have like a split second because of the distance being so short. But hey, it's winter. I'll take what I can get. There we go. And brake. So this is how you get rolling on your standard motorcycle. From my experience, when I first got the bike, I found the backing up to be really tough, and I didn't realize that you really need to build up those specific muscles. So if you are doing this for 15 minutes and you're feeling a little, cramped and stretched out, a little tired, you really are using muscles you're not familiar with. So there's that. Here we go, one more time. We're gonna go into first gear. There we go. Back into neutral, backing it up. And what I typically like to do to shut my engine off is I would just simply put my kickstand down. So here I am in neutral. I know I'm in neutral. I'm gonna go grab my kickstand, and typically you are sort of in gear. So like if I've showed up here somewhere, I'm in first, rolling into stop, have my clutch grab, do my kickstand, the bike shuts off. And I would kind of just turn my keys off and park it like this, typically. I find that to be the best way to stop. Just have in first, put your kickstand down, and get off the bike. You're good. The one thing you might want to remember is what I like to do typically is walk up to my bike, kick this guy back in neutral, and then go ahead with the startup process. So that's probably a little more than 5 minutes, but I hope you got gist of how to get rolling on a motorcycle. And I got some butt time on the motorcycle, so this is, it is what it is. I'll take it. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys later.